has reconfirmed the rating relation to Romania's government debt to BBB-A-3, and the long and short-term debt in local and hard currency, as well as the stable outlook. Also, S&P estimates that Romania's economy will slow down even more this year, to stand at 3.5% due to a more reduced external demand and a lower level of private investment. According to the agency, last year the growth rate of the GDP dropped down to 4.1% from the very high level of 7% reported for 2017, when the fiscal stimulation measures and the favorable external environment prompted Romania's economic boom. For the period 2020-2022, S&P expects a moderate growth towards a more sustainable level of 3% annually. The future growth trajectory will depend on the progress made in plastic institutional reform and on the rate of success of increased domestic investment, for instance by means of boosting the absorption of European funds, S&P also showed. In another move, S&P remarks an obvious propensity for immigration among young people, among the educated labor force, as well as a gloomy prospect of improvement of general life conditions. S&P warns that if the authorities don't take action to bring the people and the diaspora back home, they will not be able to ensure more robust growth trajectory for the economy and the The agency also draws attention to the increasing fiscal pressure that will linger in the absence of corrective measures. The current account deficit will probably grow of almost 5% of the GDP, S&P writes. The National Bank of Romania still enjoys a high credibility rate, and the awaited amendment to the new banking tax will probably ensure the policy's efficiency. S&P estimates that the general governmental deficit will deepen, going up to 3.3% to 3.5% of the GDP in 2019 and 2020 respectively, as a result of a slowdown in economic growth and of government expenses, and against the backdrop of preparations for the 2019 presidential election and the 2020 parliamentary election. S&P's decision to maintain the stable outlook for Romania is a fair one, which acknowledges and confirms the current economic realities of Romania, says Finance Minister Eugen Teodorovic. According to the Finance Ministry officials, Romania's strength underlying the S&P decision are the moderate level of public and foreign debt and the effort to maintain the economic growth prospects. The 2019 budget law passed by the Romanian government and promulgated by President Iohannis is based on an economic growth of 5.5%, a 2.7% deficit, and a GDP of almost 200 billion euros.
Romanian literature has been well represented in the most important book fairs held this year. And Cristina Matei spoke with a report by Bogdan Matei. Romanian literature, as a wider family of European literature, was the topic of a debate held on the first day of the London Book Fair, held over March the 12th and the 14th. Special guests were European Union Literature Prize recipients Ioana Târgulescu and Claudiu Florian. The attendants included translators, writers, journalists, academia, private officials and readers passionate about Romanian literature. Romanian-born American writer Rspduo was the protagonist of another event, the launch of his latest poetry volume, No Time Like Now. It was in fact a recital of poetry and music, with poetry readings intertwined with pieces performed by pianist Nina Beldimanescu. Romania's participation in the London Book Fair has become a landmark, not just for Romanian culture consumers, but intellectuals interested in European culture in general. Evidence of that were the speeches of our British partners. Literary critic Răzvan Boncu said, himself a participant in the London Book Fair. Romania was well represented in the Paris Book Fair as well, held over March the 15th and the 18th, bringing together 1,200 publishers, 35,000 authors from nearly 100 countries, and totaling some 180,000 guests. The last edition slightly broke with the tradition of having one country as guest of honor to celebrate, Instead, for the first time in the history of the fair, Europe as a whole. 35 Romanian publishers took part in the fair. The Romanian Cultural Institute played host to debates and book launches under the slogan 2019, the Year of Romania in Europe. The excellent relations between Romania and France and Romania and Europe as a whole was the topic of a debate titled 30 Years After Returning to Europe, devoted to the 3 decades free of communism. Another successful event hosted by Romania's pavilion featured traveler and storyteller Estelle Cantală, who told the audience about her experience collecting folk tales in Maramureș, northwestern Romania. A round table was devoted to Paraitis Strati, whose works in French are internationally acclaimed. An overt leftist advocate, Istratis traveled extensively to the Soviet Union, accompanied by communist officials, which earned him the nickname Maxim Gorky of the Balkans. Istratis visited the former USSR in the first years of Stalin's dictatorship and became one of the first intellectuals to condemn the horrors of the Soviet regime. EU Commissioner for Economic and Financial Affairs Pierre Moscovici, himself the son of a Romanian-born psychologist, visited the fair and held a press conference, reiterating the EU's support for publishers and literature in general. And that was the Radio Newsreel.
You are listening to Radio Romania International. Focus on Romania. The History Show. Welcome to the History Show. I'm Vlad Falcon. The date is March 2nd, 1989. A man who had set himself ablaze was skiing downhill along the Bradu ski slope in Plana Brașov and could be seen by hundreds of tourists. He fell near a tree, reeking with smoke and yelling. With a final effort, the man took out a piece of cardboard from his fallen coat, reading, "Stop murder, Brașov equals Auschwitz." It was an act of protest against the catastrophic condition of the Romanian society, faithfully masterminded by the communist regime. It was also a message of solidarity with the November 1987 workers' anti-communist fight, mounted at the Sdrplay and Rspduo towns in Brașov, brutally repressed by the communist regime. 30 years on, it is still hard to accept Liviu Babes's extreme gesture. It was a cry of desperation and helplessness, as an answer to the lack of perspective regarding Romanian day-to-day life back then. His sacrifice made Liviu Babes a further martyr, much the same way other people were during the communist regime. At this point worth mentioning are the names of other people from the former Soviet bloc countries who set themselves ablaze as a form of protest. Among them, the Czechs Jan Palach, Evgen Skorček, and Jan Jazic. The Polish Ryszard Dziwiac, Lithuanian Romasz Kalanta, Ukrainian Oleksandr Hich, or the Hungarian Sándor Bauer. Liviu Babes was born on September 10, 1942, and was an electrician supervisor with the fabricated parts enterprise in Brașov. Babes was also an amateur painter. On the back of his last painting, Babes unassumingly wrote the German word Ende a couple of weeks ahead of his life's fated momentum. What really had a strong bearing on Babes was the degradation of Romania's political, economic, social, cultural and moral condition in the 1980s. The workers' strike in the Sdrplay and Tractorul factories only strengthened his resolution to do something. But what actually influenced Babes the most in his decision was people's being so passive. According to his wife, Liviu Babes never stopped wondering about that. Journalist and writer Mircea Brenciu is the author of The Motive, a volume dedicated to Liviu Babes. Brenciu wrote the book feeling it was his duty to do it. Yet writing the book was equally an honor and a privilege for him. Mircea Brenciu referred to Babes as an intellectual, while his extreme gesture carried a strong civic message with it.
Mircea Brenciu.
Babeș era un intelectual. Aș putea spune un intelectual de...
Babeș was an intellectual and a very refined one too. He had exhibitions, he sold paintings, and at the time he was kind of a trending fine artist in Brașov. As far as his attitude is concerned, his is a gesture of self-sacrifice, a gesture only an intellectual could do. Babeș is part of the Romanian elite that could no longer stand the communist atrocities. However, he was closely linked to the people, since, through his profession, he was just a supervisor with a fabricated parts enterprise, working with ordinary people. He actually provided the connection between the two social categories. His gesture is one of great cultural value, and he made it after careful consideration. He premeditated his act with great lucidity, and the message he conveyed as he stayed downhill, setting himself ablaze, is indicative of a certain social level. The card which he displayed on the slope, and on which you could read "Stop Murder, Brașov equals Auschwitz," is not the work of an ordinary man, Mircea Brenciu. In 1968, the Czech student Jan Palach set himself on fire in protest against the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia, which suppressed the Prague Spring. Brenciu spoke about the differences between the two gestures.
Poate fi semnat doar ca finalitate, dar ca și...
In terms of accomplishment and level of premeditation, what Babeș did was superior to Jan Palach's gesture. What Babeș did was heroic. It was like an ancient tragedy. Jan Palach's gesture was an auto-da-fe, an act of faith, at a time of psychological bursts of losing control. Babeș did it with due consideration before setting himself on fire. Told them how life was starting to happen. The political elite, Securitate, would not have done something so dramatic if he had told anybody. He knew there were snitches everywhere, and he had to be careful in order not to raise any suspicion. Third, self-immolation came in the presence of hundreds and thousands of Czechs protesting against the invasion, while Babeș fought by himself, just him against the terrible socialist dictatorship, Mircea Brenciu. One of the difficulties encountered while writing the book, The Martyr, Mircea Brenciu told us, was to find social sympathy.
Din momentul în care și-a dat foc și a fost dus cu ambulanța, nimeni nu mai știe nimic.
From the moment he set himself on fire and was taken by an ambulance, nobody has learned anything about him. What is strange is that he was quite fast from the burn. People with third-degree burns do not die on that very day. They make it for a few days, and then their treatment fails. Babeș died on the very same day, and when he was sent home to be buried, his family was not allowed to lift the lid of the casket. Cremation would help, but I doubt that significance would be found. It's only speculation. Mircea Brenciu. Babeș was buried in an isolated corner of the Brașov cemetery under strict supervision by the hospital police. 12 hours after the event, Sdrplay radio station broadcast the news, and this is how the whole world found out about Mircea Babeș, the civic martyr who died 30 years ago. And this has been all in the hospital. Next, on Radio Romania International, St. Green.
Welcome to St. Gregory Fotografia and Telefotoyu. Today we'll be talking about the project Romania's Great Wings. The bird of Romania's park has made it through winter, as have announced. This winter, all records seem to have been broken in the sense that communities did their best to get involved in protecting parks and bird species, and the amount of food purchased was amazing. In Bucharest alone, the consumption of seeds tripled as compared to the previous winter. The beneficiaries of the project are more than 200 species of birds and mammals that live in Romania's biggest park. What did you look at? PR representative? Offices with the Romanian Ornithological Society have more.
Dar asta la să consumăm undeva la 5 tone 200 de kilograme.
This year we have managed to consume around 5 tons and 200 kilograms of seed, which we placed in the bird feeders set up in 15 cities across Romania. Most of the feeders have been placed in Bucharest, where we have larger parks. For instance, there are 6 bird feeders in about Italy and have a snow park. 200 volunteers have joined us and have helped us feed the birds. There are more and more people who call us and ask for advice as to how to feed wild birds correctly. It's important to know that birds should not eat processed food. Instead of bread, we could feed them walnuts, rotten apples, raw sunflower seeds, which is an ideal food in winter. Now, in the month of March, we no longer need to feed the birds, because most of them are insectivorous and can find food alone. Just imagine that a great tip eats some 1,000 insects per day. We are now working on other measures for birds. We want to set up artificial nests. From great tip to sparrows, all birds are now nesting. Almost all bird species in our parks are doing us a great service. They are eating the mosquitoes, the flies, and the caterpillars.
The Romanian Ornithological Society's project, Romania Bird Wings, started in the winter of 2015. Ever since, it's winter and spring. The birds from 15 cities of Romania, from Cluj, Iași, and Baia Mare, have benefited from putting artificial nests to be able to survive the harsh winters. Information boards are also needed in these parks, by means of which people can find connections between bird species and the type of habitat in which they live and feed. Ovidiu Bucnila is back on the microphone.
În fiecare parc din oraș unde suntem prezenți avem 15 cuiburi.
In each park, we have 15 nests. In Bucharest, there are 100 nests, while Cluj has more than 1,200 artificial nests for several species. This year, the owl, which is the bird of the year, will get its nest, too. The owl is a night predatory bird that feeds on rodents, keeping the balance of the Romanian population. The more owls we have, the fewer mice to bother us.
Through this project, ornithologists are trying to provide a model for those who want to get involved in bird and environmental protection activities. In the U.S., more than 60% of the houses and gardens have bird feeders. When red becomes number exceeds 80%. And that's all from St. Clement.
And with that, our broadcasting in Western Europe and North America, the East Coast, has come to an end. You can listen to our next program for Western Europe at 23 hours UTC on 5980 and 7220 kHz. Our listeners in North America, the East Coast, can listen to us at 1 hour UTC on 6130 and 7325 kHz. It can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.rail channel 1. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write an email at engl@rri.ro. Goodbye.